This is the updated 2014-2015 Volton Alation 500. It's a value-priced electric bike, and one that's really well balanced and just, I think, pretty thoughtfully configured when you think about the accessories and the layout and even the look. Like, it's a good-looking bike. Let me just jump in to the bicycle aspects of this, starting with these awesome black Welgo pedals. See how they're wide and they've got these nice metal grips on them and reflectors. I love these pedals. I'm glad they used them. And then check that out, aluminum, sort of a bash guard, right? So that keeps the teeth on your front chainring from, hitting rocks or something if you're riding off-road. And this is sort of a trail bike, hardtail, you could say mountain bike, and it feels solid. Like, I've taken this thing off-road. The suspension works pretty well. It's got a lockout. It's SR Suntour here. It's not like the top of the line, but it does a pretty good job. And again, for being one of the more affordable type of bikes like this, is electric bike, these are Tektro 160 millimeter disc brakes, mechanical, right? And they use these Tektro brake levers. They're sort of top of the line. I've seen a bunch of different versions out there. These ones have like the rubber, they cut power to the motor, and they've even got this like little bell, just really integrated well, so you don't have a bunch of clutter here in sort of like the cockpit area. I like that. And then you got trigger shifters, which is great, because if you're mountain biking, you want, twist shifters, they don't make as much sense. Even a twist throttle, but I'm glad it has one here. This has twist throttle as well as pedal assist, so I'll get into that in a second. We got a rear fender. It actually has a rear light as well, but it's just battery powered. It's just kind of like a basic accessory. The front light, however, is actually wired in and fairly adjustable. You can aim it. It's connected right to the fork, so it's not on a fender. It's not going to be bouncing around or anything. And they've got it set up so it can just, basically you plug it in here. This is the same port that you plug the whole bike in to charge it. Or you can take the battery out and charge it separately. So that's one of the cool things about this bike and some others. You can take the battery off, and that's perfect for if you're transporting this like on your car using a car rack or whatever, because it makes the bike lighter, easier to lift. Of course, if you store the battery inside with like neutral temperatures, it's going to last longer. That's just the right way to do it, but it's really well concealed. I mean, this could pass for just like a bicycle, but it's actually a very powerful bicycle. So this is a 500 watt geared rear hub motor, and it's, man, the system, so 500 watt geared rear hub motor, 48 volt, 11 amp hour Samsung lithium manganese cobalt battery. This is super powerful. It's like one of the most powerful hub geared bikes that I've actually had a chance to ride. It goes super fast, tons of torque, climbs well, just a blast to ride. And before I forget to mention it, they've got this frame set up in addition to the fenders, and there is a front one that's just sort of taken off because we're gonna take it off-road today. It's also got these braze-ons for adding a rack, right? So pretty sweet. You could configure this for the city, you could take it off-road. Again, the fork has lockout, so it's just a lot of good options. That's what I meant earlier, like thoughtfully configured. Gosh, what am I forgetting here? I don't want to forget anything. Like, I don't know, I like the way it looks. Oh, my complaint. No water bottle braze-ons. Like, I don't know, they might add some here in the future and it could you could put your bottle on, but you do get thirsty. You can always use a Camelback, or maybe if you have that rack, you could put a saddlebag with like a bottle holder or something like that. That's like one of my few complaints on this bike. Voltons, they've been around since like 2010. They have a 1-year warranty, pretty solid. And this bike comes in a couple different colors. There's like white, silver, or black like we see here. And it also comes in a step-through design, which is pretty sweet. It's gonna be like a little bit of a shorter frame, easier to mount, like if you're just someone who's not as tall. That would be ideal. And it comes in sort of like a dark red or white. So that's kind of it. And I also wanted to highlight like their new battery cover. It's got this nice rubber piece, like lip, and the battery inside is in like a canvas bag. It's really nice. It's a good setup. They've been refining and tweaking things for a while on this, and yeah, it fits together really nice. I think they started out with a pretty good product too, and so now it's just like, dialing it in. So here is the display console. when you get this bike, basically put the battery in, and then you can turn it on by holding the mode button. And there are 5 levels of pedal assist. And what's cool is in 0, you can just go throttle mode. So you don't need to like be in pedal assist and then have that moment where you forget and you pedal and you're like, oh, and it, you know. So anyway, that's like a minor gripe, but something I appreciate. Check this out. Like you're on it, I'm in 0, and it flies, right? We're just like instantly taking off. I'm gonna show you the motor. There we go. No problem. No pedaling. We were like up to 20 miles per hour there, climbing a little incline, which is nice. Now I'm gonna do just pedal assist. It's got like a kind of a basic like 6 sensor magnet, so it senses when you pedal, and it just goes on. Anytime your feet are moving, it goes. Which is like a positive and a negative. Like it's a little less responsive when you stop, so I'm gonna show that real quick. So you can see how the bike keeps going even though I've stopped pedaling, but at the same time, I don't need to really like overexert myself to activate the motor. So it's a trade-off. Compared with something like torque sensing assist or something where it's like speed, torque, and cadence, this is more basic, but you know, this is that more affordable price point as well. Let me show the little magnetic sensor. There it is. Yeah, actually I think it's a 5 sensor. Which is just sort of, you know, that's been around for several years. Some of the new bikes have like 12 sensor, and I don't know, they could go to that at some point. This doesn't work too bad, and again, the throttle is like instantaneous, very responsive. And because the brake levers are wired in, anytime you pull that, the motor will cut out. So yeah, not too bad. It's the Volton Alation 500 48 volt edition. For the full specs on this, comments and stuff, or questions, I'll see you back at ElectricBikeReview.com.